What's up, my beer bros? Beer Maniac here, and now you know, with game picks, we usually do the whole slate. We usually do it in our own franchise mode. I'll get my official record to you guys after the playoffs are over. But until then, we got the playoffs to do. We have 4 wild card games this weekend. First one I can think of to do: Panthers at the Saints, NFC South clash. Cam Newton versus that New Orleans defense with Marshawn Lattimore, possibly Rookie of the Year, and then you have Drew Brees going up against the Panthers defense. But more importantly, you have Alvin Kamara and Mark Ingram. That's going to be the difference here. Kamara and Ingram are going to lead the Saints to victory to win this game as the 4 seed. And you'll see later on who they're going to face according to my other predictions. For the second NFC wildcard game, you have the Atlanta Chokers versus the Los Angeles Rams. Now, the Chokers were in the Super Bowl last year. They're defending NFC champions, so a lot of people are thinking, oh, they can do it. Not as consistent. I believe they scored roughly around 150 points or more less than they did last year. So that's down. Sarkisian's awful. Defense is this year has been far less consistent. I'm gonna have to go with Goff, Gurley, Watkins, Woods, all them, and especially Aaron Donald on defense. So if these predictions hold up correctly, it will be Minnesota versus Los Angeles Rams. I believe that's a rematch of the regular season. And then it will be Philly versus New Orleans, which will be really interesting considering Nick Foles has played like shit the last 2 weeks. And for the first AFC, we have the 4 seed Kansas City Chiefs taking on the 5 seed Tennessee Titans. Now, according to the next matchup in the AFC, the winner here would probably face the Patriots. I'm not sure about this one. Honestly, I want to just pick the Chiefs, but Tyreek Hill has been hampered. Tennessee has a great defense, and the Chiefs have a questionable offensive line. Biard has played amazing at DB this year. He deserves a ton of credit. The way Henry and Mariota can run, I think can expose maybe some of the Chiefs' defense. But the questionable part here, like, do the Titans stand a chance, is their wide receivers. If they can just eke out a little bit and exploit the corners of the Kansas City Chiefs just a little bit, they stand a good chance. But, you know, I'm actually kind of struggling with this one. I think Kareem Hunt's amazing. I'm going to go Chiefs here, though. I just feel like Alex Smith is a little bit more consistent, and that's where I struggle with here. I don't think Mariota is consistent enough. I mean, he can win this game hands down. I just don't think he's consistent enough for me to pick him to win this game because he's so up and down. And for possibly the most lopsided game of wildcard weekend, we have the 3 seed Jaguars against the 6 seed Bills. Bills and Jaguars snapping their long playoff droughts. The Bills very, very long. Some adults weren't even alive when they last made it. Now, Jacksonville seems like the clear favorites here. Saxonville, they got 2 games with 10 sacks. Clyde Campbell, Bowie, Ramsey, that whole amazing defense can absolutely decimate the Bills' offense because the Bills only have people like Benjamin, Clay, Jones. LaShawn McCoy's not even probably going to be 100%. Tyrod Taylor is kind of not consistent. But the underrated aspect here is the Jaguars don't have anybody with, I think, more than 42 receptions. I think Marquise Lee leads them. Bortles is at quarterback. Leonard Fournette only averages 3.9 yards per carry, so that's nothing amazing. The Bills can exploit the Jaguars' offense. They very well can. We've seen the Jaguars get exploited by their offense already this year when they lost twice to the Tennessee Titans. Twice. Now, what that does to me is, I don't know if they took last week seriously against the Titans in Week 17 to basically let Tennessee be in the playoffs, to give them one less serious opponent. I don't know how they're thinking about that. but they played like dog shit. And you gonna tell me that a team that's coming off the high of a 18-year, 19-year playoff drought, something like that, a high of just like exhilarated, first time in the playoffs forever, is not going to be more motivated than the team just got their asses wiped or kicked or whatever shoved up their butts? This one's really fucking tough though. If the Jaguars win, they go to Pittsburgh next week. If the Buffalo Bills win, they go to New England next week for round 3. Replay of the Kelvin Benjamin turnover and the Gronk hit and shit like that. It's probably going to be on all week. And then if Jacksonville wins, they go to Pittsburgh, and it's going to be about the 5 interception game Big Ben threw all week. And honestly, I believe the Jacksonville Jaguars are going to win this game. But I'm picking the Bills here in the upset. Why? Because as a Patriots fan, I would love to face the Bills next week because the storylines would be endless. Plus, as a football fan, I think Blake Bortles is absolutely god-awful. I don't want to see Blake Bortles getting so much hype because his team made it to the next round, because he's god-awful. Tyrod Taylor deserves more respect for what he's done with such a shitty team. His stats for playing, I think, 15 in a quarter game or whatever the Peterman game was, is pretty good considering what he has around him. They gave him Benjamin though. I think they'll lean on the run game, the mobility of Tyrod Taylor, and I think they'll exploit. They have the defense to exploit Blake Bortles, and I think that's where it comes in. I think Blake Bortles has 4 or 5 turnovers. I think maybe the Bills return 1 or so for a touchdown. I think this game's going to be roughly 18-15 or something like that. It's going to be a major field goal game for me. And I like Hauschka a little bit more. I believe he's kicking for the Bills. I apologize if I'm wrong on that. And, yeah. So, I'm picking the Bills in the upset, guys. If you do not agree with me, feel free to comment in the section down below. And let's get ready for the divisional round.